Yeah?
Ready.
Oh, they're right there. Put me in the spot. Nope.
You might be live on YouTube.
I'm in the circle. See that?
And you might be live.
Takes a lot of practice.
You're live. I got you. Stop. I got you. Okay.
All right, we're live. Oh, there it is. All right, you got it? We're good. All right, guys, we're live. That took a lot. It was like taking off like a space shuttle, right? Taking off. Welcome to OnSet. I'm Daniel Norton. Today we're going to talk about photographing men and women, kind of some of the differences maybe in the lighting of how you might do it. And if you guys don't know, we stream on YouTube and Facebook when we do these. So usually, you always make it happen. If you can't come, you're on a date, you're at a wedding, it's the summer, right? Everybody's getting married, you're on vacation, right? You're at Disney. You can bust out your phone, go to youtube.com/Adorama TV, or go to Facebook and you can watch this live. It's very much worth it, I swear. Okay, so as I said, I'm Daniel Norton. I have Justin and Marissa as our models, and Seth on the Mighty Mix. Sorry, so we're gonna go through this and make some shots. As always, if there's any questions, please feel free to ask. Any answers, that's also useful, and we'll go from there. So this demo comes through because oftentimes when I'm lighting, I'll say, well, when I photograph a woman, I usually do blah, and sometimes I'll say when I photograph a man, I usually do blah, and then people ask, well, why do you do certain things? So I thought we'd talk a little bit about that. Now, clearly, I'll put the public service announcement up. Yes, you could photograph men and women with the same exact lighting and whatever, and you might like that. And, whatever. And sometimes that's what you want to do, right? But we're just going to talk about kind of the common places to start, because sometimes when you're first working with lighting, you kind of want, where's my first place? Where do I step in, right? Where's the place that would be kind of standard, right? And then you can start funkying it up, and you should, right? You should mess with it. So generally speaking, when we're photographing men, we're talking about using a little bit more shadow, a little more contrast, building a little more tension with the lighting. And women, we generally want to work with more of an open light, a light that's going to kind of illuminate the skin, which will help hide, any imperfections and kind of make for a cleaner complexion in general. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the quality of light, the quality of light being hard, soft, right? So we talk about this a lot in photography. People, that's one of the first things you learn. You're like, I want to use a soft light. Well, nobody knows what that means, right? It doesn't matter. You just say it a lot, right? It's part of what we talk. So soft light, soft and hard is referring to the shadow transition, okay? So a hard light source has a very hard, dramatic shadow transition. Soft light has a soft, gradual shadow transition. This means that anything that is texture, right, that is lit with a hard light source is going to have immediate shadow, so it's going to show the texture more. Things like skin or hair or clothing, right? You're going to end up with more texture in it with a harder light source. A soft light source, you're going to see less texture because the shadow is going to blend over, and if you have little tiny, bumps on your skin or whatever, the shadow is going to virtually be not there, right? It's going to look like it's almost not there because the transition will be so smooth. So the way that we determine or create soft light versus hard light is it's based on the size, right? The size of your light source relative to your subject determines how hard or soft. Softer light sources are larger relative to the size of your subject. And I say that because that's important, right? It's all relative, because if I take a light source that's really large and I back it really far up, it can become hard because relative to my subject, it's small. If you look at the sun, although you're not supposed to look at the sun, they say, right? Don't look right at the sun, it's bad for your. All right, so you look at the sun, they say, is really far away. I mean, I'm not a scientist. They say it's really big, they say it's really far away. I know that I can block the sun with my hand pretty easily, right? Because it's tiny for me. If you look at the shadows created by the sun on a sunny day, when there's no clouds, those are hard shadows, right? Direct lines, direct shadow. Can be really beautiful, can be really nice if used properly, right? On a cloudy day, now the clouds that are much larger and closer become your light source, thus creating a softer light, right? That make sense so far? I just made that up. That's pretty good, right? Actually, I probably said that last time, so. I don't know how to do it. All right, so We're not going to work with the sun or natural light because we're inside. So we're going to create our own light. I'm going to use flash for this demonstration. I said demonstration for some reason. That seems really formal, right? Demonstration. This demonstration is going to... All right, so we're going to use flash. Flash gives us power to control our environment. And I'm using flash for these demos usually because I want to eliminate all the light in the space. I want to do that so that you guys can really see what we're doing, right? If I just came in here and did a little fill light or whatever, and we mostly use the light in the space, you'd be like, well, I could have done that as well. So we're going to first eliminate all the light in the space. Then we're going to bring in our own light, and we're going to create, shadow patterns, and we're going to create some images with both Justin and Marissa. So that being said, the first step here is, and I will try, I say this all the time, to tell you the equipment that I'm using as I go. I will almost certainly forget after this minute. So if there's a question and you're like, what's that thing? You can just ask me. Because I get a lot of DMs and people are like, hey, what was that thing? If you just ask me now, it'd be easier because then I have to look at the video. Not that I'm not constantly watching my videos, because I am, because I listen to my own voice. It helps me sleep. It probably helps you sleep too. Okay, so.
Soothing.
It's very soothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our camera so that none of the light in the space affects our shot. We're going to do that by doing a couple of presets. I'm using the Nikon. What does that mean? It's on okay, it doesn't matter. I'm using the Nikon Z6. The sync speed for this is 125, I believe. 200? Okay, so we're going to say it's 200th of a second. So I'm going to set it at 200th of a second. Every camera has a maximum synchronization speed or an X-sync speed or blah, blah, depends on how they say it. What that means is if you're using a flash, that is the fastest shutter speed which you can set the camera when using a flash and get a proper exposure. Okay, I know, I can sense it. Some people in the audience are going, well, what about high-speed sync, Daniel? High-speed sync, yeah, we're not going to do high-speed sync because then I'd have to teach that class today, and I want to get more money by teaching another class. So there is a thing called high-speed sync. Don't worry about that because not every flash does it. We're not going to talk about it. So essentially, think of it like this. If you're using this camera, you set the camera at its maximum sync speed, which we think is 200. We're going to try. It's 200. Like the Canon that I sometimes use is 250. The Fuji is 125. Every camera is a little bit different, so look in your manual. It will tell you. You can set it at that speed or slower, okay? So I come into a situation, I know I'm going to be using flash, I know I want to eliminate the light in the space, I'm going to set my camera at 200. I'm going to set my ISO at the lowest ISO within its normal range. This is going to give me the cleanest file. Not the lowest ISO that it goes to, but the lowest ISO within the normal range. So some cameras have like a low setting, or you can add like lower ISOs. If you do that, you're still going to introduce noise and stuff into the system. What you want to do is keep it at what they call the base ISO or the lowest ISO. Sometimes the base ISO is not the lowest ISO, but I don't know which cameras are like that, so just put it at the lowest ISO, it's fine. Now, the third factor in our exposure triangle is our aperture, right? This is going to vary, right? If you're inside Adorama, which maybe you are, maybe you guys are doing photo shoots in Adorama. I mean, I know I do, right? It's one setting. If I'm outside, it's going to be a much smaller aperture. If you're in a dark space, it might be a more open aperture. It really depends. We need to just set it so that we eliminate the light in the space. So I know from having shot in here many, many times that somewhere around f8 is a good place. If you don't know, what we can do is I'll have one of my subjects, Justin, stand in frame. Come a little closer. Good. And I'm going to look through the camera. And in the camera is a light meter. And I'm going to adjust the f-stop until I basically show a pretty underexposed image. And I can see here at f8, it looks pretty underexposed. So I'm going to make a photo. Okay, I'm using Capture One. So Capture One is basically software that allows you to capture, or tether, as they say. So I'm shooting directly into my computer. We can see here that I have a black frame, right? That means that what? None of the light in the space is affecting my shot. If I could see Justin, then I would need to close down my aperture more. Now, just to be extra sure, I always come over here to the exposure slider and I drag it over until I can see him. There he is, right? More than 3 stops before I really see him come up. So I know that the light in the space is not really affecting him at all. That's basically my shadow level, right? Why do I want 2 or 3 stops, which is what I normally want? The reason for 2 or 3 stops is because if in post, let's say I start shooting and things move and I end up underexposing or something and I want to bring stuff up, I don't want to start bringing the available light in. So I want to really underexpose it so I have some room to move, okay? Now that I'm there, I'm ready to go. I know it was complicated, but now we're here. This is the first shot that you should take when I show up randomly on your photo shoots, which I sometimes do, right? You have shown up on a couple of shoots? Yeah? Just say yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. So when I show up randomly at your photo shoot, if I don't see a black frame at the beginning, I'm going to say, hey, why is there no black frame? And then you'll be like, I don't know. There you go. Now, let's make some photos. So let's start off with a softbox. I know what you're saying. I'm cheating a little bit there, right? Because the word soft is in the name, right? Soft box is going to be soft, right? Well, what makes a softbox soft is its size, right? If I'm making a photo of, we'll say Marissa, because I'm going to use a soft light with Marissa. We're making a photo of Marissa. This box is 2 foot by 3 foot. If I look at her head, even though it is relatively large, it's not 2 foot by 3 foot, right? It's smaller than that.
Close,
It's close.
Yeah.
She's almost there. So for her, this is okay. Normal person, it'd be very soft. So, but we need to make sure we move the light in close, right? Because the closer the light is, the larger it will be, relatively speaking. So let's get Marissa up here. Hey, Marissa. That's a beautiful dress.
Who brought that dress
I
for you?
know. I was supposed to have.
Okay, so this system has, this is the ProPhoto D2. This, by the way, is a Schmier softbox. Pro 2 softbox. I don't know what things are called. They should put names on everything so I know what it is when I'm pointing at it. This is a Pro 2, which I actually really like. Seth does not like it, but that's okay. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this softbox, I'm using it very specifically because if you notice, it has a flat front, right? You may have seen softboxes before that have a recessed front, right? There's like lips around the side of it. What that does is it really controls the light, right? It keeps it so it's like more kind of targeted on stuff. This does not do that. This spills the light all over the place, which I like for this because we're going to use some bouncing of light later. So this is the reason why I like this box. It is also cheaper, so if you're cheap like I am, All right, so I'm going to move it in close because I said we should move the light in close. So the rule, why'd you back up?
Oh.
She backed up. You saw her back up, guys, right? You saw that, right? Can we move that back? Whose bag is that?
That's mine.
Could you move it, please, sir?
No, I'm so
Thanks.
useless.
You can put it up on the counter if you want. All right, so we're going to move the light in, and we're going to generally point it in her general direction. Oh, always the broken C-stand every time. Now, this system does have what's called TTL, or through-the-lens metering. I am not using it because I do not have a TTL remote. So I'm going to use a good old-fashioned light meter. There we go. So when using a light meter, we need to set our shutter speed, and we need to set our ISO, and also our mode. The mode is going to be flash. I'm going to turn on my remote here. There we go. That worked. I'm going to take my meter. I'm going to point it towards the light source. All right, and it says 5.66, so almost f8. I want f8, right? That's what I was shooting at. So I'm going to raise the power. I can do that from the remote here. And I'm going to raise this up. Now, in theory, right, depending on what you're doing, you could, and I've seen people do this, you could just shoot at 5.6, right? We could just do that, right? But I don't want to get in the habit of metering and then just shooting at whatever the meter tells me because I want to control my light. I know that I want f8. That's the reason why I'm using flash to control it. So I'm going to adjust my flash until I get it. So now, I now have f8. I know it's very dramatic right now. I can feel it. All right, we're f8. I have the motor drive on, which I'm going to turn off now because I don't need a motor drive. No, I don't know how. Okay, so I'm not going to turn that off. All right, here we go. Marissa's looking at the light. She's like, ah, there we go. And there she is, right? Perfect. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week. That was basically it.
We didn't do the guy shot. It's not over.
Oh, right, we have to do Justin. No, we don't need it. That was so good. Right. Okay, so Marissa, being an amazing model, is looking towards the light because that's kind of, right, she got ahead of me. Well, actually, I'm going to have you look right at me, though. You look very warm, too. Nah, I guess not. All right, here we go. So we're pointing the light at her. People are laughing in the background, so it must be funny. Here we go. Oh, I knew I was going to double tap. There we go. 2 shots for the price of 1. All right, so here we go. Got a nice soft light, right? We can see the shadow transition here, right? We can see her skin looks pretty glowy, right? We'll zoom right in, right? Oh, boy, yeah. So we can zoom right into her skin. Yeah, there we go. It looks beautiful, right? Now, that's one thing, right? We have our soft light. We've got our light here, and it's fine, right? It looks decent. Lens. This is the Nikon 50 millimeter 1.8 for the Z system. There we go. I knew it. I knew something. All right. So the shadow is nice, right? It's shaping her face a little bit. I don't normally photograph women with light coming from the side, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you were going to do this, let's say that this was her high school photo, we might want to use a little fill. A little fill. Okay, now I got it. All right. Now I got this one. All right. This is a reflector. It's very expensive, but it's worth having. What is this going to do? It's going to reflect, exactly, right? It's a reflector, right? So it reflects. So our light is going to hit this, and it's going to bounce off and then go into her shadow and make it so it's less dense. So, aha. Oh, you have a bigger one. Thanks for showing that off. There's always somebody here that has a bigger one. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got the reflector, and there it is. And there she is, right? That's. And the video gets taken down now.
Okay, I'll shut it off.
Okay, so we can see that Marissa has a headache.
She's trying to see far.
She's somewhere in the distance. We can see now that her shadow is filled in with the reflector, right? Nice and simple, nice and flat. If I hold down Shift, right? Shift for this. Yep, they both zoom in. And we can see here, right, that it cleans it up, right? I learned how to do that at the Capture One class. There we go. All right, right away, right? Do we notice that while the first shot is fine, right? It's like, I bought a softbox and made a photo. The second one has, even just adding a little bit of reflector, it's more clean and more even, right? Now let's have Justin come in.
Oh, boy.
All right, here's Justin. I have to give them equal screen time. So we got Justin here, and let's start that way, right? We've got Justin. I don't know why this is flashing, but we'll figure it out. I've got the reflector. Now, oh yeah, that's good. Right, boom, there's Justin, right? He looks good, right? That's pretty nice, right? He's like, I'm Justin, right? But now let's try Justin without the reflector, right? Sure. With a little more shadow. You gotta do the same pose.
You want to do the same one?
Not so far, yeah, there you go. Good? Nice. All right, right? Now we've got the shadow. And we can see that while the first one is kind of nice, right? The second one really adds a little more drama. Although I feel like maybe we want a little bit of fill light, right? Maybe the shadow's a little bit too dark, but maybe not. I think we'll just have you turn your nose slightly towards the light. If you have a light source that has what's called a modeling light, like I do, I saw that, right? All right, yeah, we shut the lights, thanks. Now, this is called a modeling light, right? You can only use it when you have models. Yeah, exactly, good. Come on, a little faster. All right. Well, this is gonna, because here I want to use the shadow, but I want to see a little bit of his eye. So this is gonna help me yeah, there we go. This is not, turn, right there. This is not Rembrandt lighting. I want, right? And now we brought him in and we can see just a little bit of light, a little catch light, because I know you guys love catch lights, right? Right, you love that, right? A little catch light action. Right there, right? And we can see, I think, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. We can see that this adds a little bit more drama, right? It's much more acceptable, much more kind of cool to have that there. It's a little unfinished, because I like to make a lot of money. I don't know about you guys. And you know how you make more money as a photographer? You use more lights, right? So in order to make money, we have to use more lights. every light that you use, you can charge for. We're going to add a little bit more drama, right? Because we've got Justin here. We need a battery. Thank you, Seth. You saved me. All right. Oh, were you getting it for me? Sorry. All right. We got the battery in there. This is a Photo B1X. It is a battery-powered light. That's right. If you'd like to purchase this, it is $1,995. Today only. Special. Oh, they get you guys get $10 off if you're in here. Oh, that's pretty neat. All right, so go back to your spot, please, good sir.
I'm sorry. I was wowed by that deal.
It was pretty good. All right. All right. Go back into your position.
Yes, sir.
All right, so he's in his spot. I'm going to bring this light over, give him a little cut here. Now, we need to figure out what the exposure is on this. So I'm going to use a light meter. Yeah, okay, good. All right, good. So I'm going to set this at f8 because I feel like it. Generally, you want your backlit. Oh. For any pro photo users out there, this modeling light, for some reason, throws off light meters. There we go. I do not know why, but it does. Took me many demos to figure that out. Okay. You know what else throws it off? Not turning it on. Why is it firing? Oh, because it's in 3. Oh, come on, Seth. I blame Seth for this one.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's in 3A for some reason. It should be in 8B. That's a pretty big difference, 3A to 8B. But those are the channels and such.
Are those like preset channels?
Go ahead and look towards the light so I can get you in position. Right, so basically when you're working with the remote system, you've got channels and you've got groups. So channels are basically for, like, if you're all using ProPhoto, which I know everybody here uses ProPhoto, so, and you're all shooting in one spot, you want to be on different channels, otherwise you'll set off each other's lights. Groups are within a channel, so if I want to have multiple lights, but I want to set them differently. So I'm going to set this one on A and this one on B so that I can change them independently. That's basically what we got going on here. There we go. So I'm not getting a whole lot of light out of it. Let me just check that. Let's check this front light again. Group B. Okay. There we go. All right, so this back one's at 11. This one goes to 11, right? To make that joke at least once. Okay, so they're both now set at f8. Light meters save time, as you can probably clearly see. And we're going to take a shot. You guys ready? All right. This is important. Okay, we can't screw this one up. We're losing it. There, that's it, just like that. Intense. Like, rah. There. Okay. It's a little much. All right. All right, so I can see it's hitting him in the nose. I don't really like that. It's not good for this. So I'm just going to have him turn slightly. Remember, you can ask the subject to turn their head. I know it's crazy,
Whoa.
but it can happen.
Okay.
I know.
So
Yeah, you could
I have to
actually.
upcharge you for that.
Yeah, of course. Good. Right now, we've got that side light just coming in and giving him shape and texture to his face, right? I mean, you guys at home don't realize this, but Justin's kind of this like chubby, kind of ugly dude,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And this
all
this
about the
photo
shot.
is, look at him. Like, he doesn't look like that. If he put that picture on Tinder, and then somebody swiped. No. You get at least one swipe.
And it would be from you.
A super
It would be
swipe
my
would have been
own
called. Okay.
Swipe right on myself.
I've already swiped on you. All right, so that's pretty cool, right? That looks decent, except for the little hand on his face. So we've come from this kind of soft, you know, boyish, if you will, which is nice. Boyish is going to work for you.
Yeah, it's a good boy.
He actually wants both of these. So that's it. Turns, little backlight, little texture, little grit, right? And we've got this kind of more kind of, shall I say, masculine. Did I say that funny? Did I say it with a weird accent? Masculine. I said that right. Masculine. Masculine. We got the masculine one. All right. Let's see Marissa. Let's see you in the dude line. All right. Here we go.
Oh, no.
Now Marissa has this weird quality where she always looks good.
In the dude light. Look at
In the
this
dude
way.
line. Which way do you want to look?
Which way is the dude way? That might be a dude.
She's duding it up, right?
That's my dude face.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we got a couple things here. Number one, I'm not even going to say anything. No comment. We got this highlight, which isn't too bad. Her hair's actually giving her a little bit of shade from it, which is nice. Your hair's throwing shade. So we actually worked that out, right? That actually worked for us. So come here. Yeah. Right there. This is actually kind of nice because her hair is actually giving us that little break, which is pretty nice, right? It's still a bit much. I think it's dramatic, right? But it's not gentle, right? And we're definitely going to see texture that we don't normally want to see, right, on subject. I mean, it happens that Marissa got really good skin, so your skin is so good,
Thanks.
unlike last time. Everybody was here last time, it was terrible. It was, yeah, it was pretty bad, yeah. All right, so, well, that wasn't your fault, though. You did that mask or whatever it was, yeah, okay. Anyways, you guys are already learning more than you should about Marissa. Okay, so we can see, right, that while both, oh, geez. Let's get rid of that one. While it works, right, it's definitely more favorable, I think, right, on Justin. It's more the kind of light that you would use for him. I mean, it looks fine on her, right? I mean, and again, you can use any light for anybody, but when you're kind of thinking about how you want to work your light, really, this light is better for Marissa, right? It makes her happier. It shows off her, you know, her youthful vigor. Vigor, right? Right? No? Youthful vigor? Vigor's a word. Okay, good. All right, question so far. Does that make sense? Yeah? Aha, question in the back. What is the watt on the light? What is the this light? This is a D2 1000 watt second light, right? 1000. This is 1000, right? It's set at maybe, do I have to do math now? It's at 5, so that's 2. It's at like around 75 watt seconds right now. This one is less, right? So it's basically about as powerful as a speed light. So if you are going to ask me, because inevitably somebody does, can I do this with a small flash? You could. It would probably be maxed out. You know, this just happens to be a very powerful flash. Make sense, right? We've got about 75 watt seconds or so going through it. We've got a little bit more, I think, through this one. Actually, they're probably about the same. Yeah, set about the same, power-wise. And we're getting a nice shaping light. Now, in the first shot of Marissa, we just have the one light, right? And then in the one with Justin, we're using 2 lights because we want to show that shadow texture, right? That depth, right? Make sense? Cool. Now, oh, I'm actually doing pretty good here. Pretty good, right? Not doing bad? Getting through? 5:30? All right, good. I've actually successfully done one shot. Uh-oh. Okay, so bone structure. Sure, whenever you're lighting anybody, so the question is, does the bone structure come into play, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you know, skulls are basically the same, right? But what we want to show is usually different. So Yeah, if you've got somebody with really strong bone structure and you want to show it off, that even whether they be male or female, you're going to want to do that with some shape and shadow, and we'll actually do that now with Marissa. So that's a good segue. It matters, right? This is more of a general kind of starting point. If I'm shooting a man, I kind of want to start off with some texture and shadow and stuff. That's generally the way I want to go. If I'm shooting a woman, I generally want to go flatter, right? But now let's talk about positioning. Normally, as I said at the beginning, I wouldn't normally put this 45. You know, they teach you this. I don't know who teaches you this. Nobody ever taught me this, but they teach you this in photo school, I guess, because people do this. I almost never put the light at a 45-degree angle. I just don't think it usually looks that good. And then when you do it like that, you know, and somebody looks directly at you, you basically get that, which is, you know, like if you're making that shot, then don't, right? What you want to do is shape the light to the person's face to show the bone structure, et cetera. So if I want to shoot somebody dead on, I want to put the light in the middle, right? This is where sandbags come into play and everything else. Should we use the softbox? Do you want to use the softbox, or should I use the beauty dish? I knew it. God, every time, beauty dish. So when you use a beauty dish, it makes people beautiful. Yep. God knows we need it with these two. All right, so here we go. We're going to use the beauty dish. I'm going to set the light up in the center of the oh, this is that. Should I not use this knuckle? Yeah. Yeah, this is the crap knuckle,
Oh,
right?
that's a good knuckle. Oh, no, this is the bad knuckle.
Yeah, we don't want that. All right, we're going to switch knuckles. Because it's the first one. Why do you always yell at me?
Because you don't listen. It's right here.
I don't know. All right. I get this question a lot, so I'll say, this is an Avenger C-stand. Although I was going to say it's Matthews. This was a Matthews one. They're both kind of the same. I mean, Avengers, I don't know. That's not where it's going to be. I don't want to move with the sandbag on. I'm old. All right. All right. Yes, would you move that for me, Smith and Marissa?
Yeah, Marissa, use those guns.
Yeah, Marissa goes to the gym all the time and then eats lots of food.
I'm like, do you mean
All right, here we go.
The only reason I go to the gym is to eat more food.
That's right. All right,
the only reason you should?
now we're about to learn why this light costs. How much does this light cost, sir?
I'm sorry?
How much does this light cost? Yeah, $1,995. Yep, and you get $10 off if you're here today.
1,985.
That's right.
Today only.
Today only.
Wasn't there a special too, like 2 for a photo lens?
Yeah, there is actually a special.
I like that.
Yeah.
Marissa's gonna buy some. You wanna buy some? There is a good. It's a good deal.
I mean,
Yeah, Seth just bought some. Did you? Yeah, Seth bought some.
if I were to buy them, now would be the time.
That's right. Then you could just do selfies and you wouldn't need us anymore.
Just to have 2 really expensive pro photo lenses.
That's all you need. All right, this is a beauty dish. Oh. With a grid on the front. It is a silver beauty dish. It's silver on the inside. Silver is going to make the light more. Who's the veteran here? What? Specular, exactly. Explain what that means. Actually, I'll do it. Okay, so we talked about hard soft, right? That's like, you know, when you first get into photography, you're like, oh, yeah, hard light, soft light. If you want to really show off, you got to use the word specular a lot. Be like, oh, it's specular, highlights. Specular and diffuse. Those are the opposite ends of the spectrum, the same way that hard soft is, right? Specular and diffuse have to do with your highlights. So specularity is the brightness of your highlights. So if you have a diffuse highlight, it's, you know, if you have a specular highlight, it's, right? Okay, thank you. Put the beauty dish on here. It is fitted with the grid. What the grid is going to do is it's going to reduce the angle, right? Normally a beauty dish throws at about 120 degrees roughly, so that means it's spreading out, right? This is going to be 25 degrees. So what a grid does not do is focus the light. I know, I'm blowing your mind. It does not focus the light. When you focus the light, you increase its intensity. The grid does not increase the intensity. All right. Whew. That was complicated, but we got it. Okay, maybe you should just be shorter so I don't have to lift it up in the air. No, I'll do it. All right, so we're going to raise it up. We're going to put it in the middle. I'm going to start in the middle here at 5. So if you don't know where you need to set your light power-wise, you want to put it in the middle power range, right? That way you can meter it and then go up and down. You don't want to put it all the ways up or all the ways down. It just saves time, put it in the middle. All right, here we go. Nice. We'll raise this up. Now this is also, it's a beauty dish. It falls under the category of hard reflector, which means you do not want to drop it on Marissa because it is hard, even though it has a piece of brown tape on it. Step forward, please. Good, perfect. All right, here we go. A little baby C-stand. What am I going to do now? Light meter.
They're asking why did you choose F8?
Why did I choose F8? Well, there's two reasons why we're set at F8 right now. Number one is that F8 is going to eliminate all the light in the space. But I also believe that like 5.6 would as well, right? The reason why I'm on F8 is because I know that'll give me enough depth of field so that her whole head is going to be in focus, or his whole head is going to be in focus even when I get close, which I probably am going to get close because, you know, I like to get close. Huh. Yes, I am. Thank you. Whenever you have extra lights in the set, always make sure you fire those anyways, because why not, right? I'm not doing it now, right? Yeah, yeah. All right, let's do it like that. All right, here we go. That's all we want. Turn the power up with my remote. All right. We're at F8. You guys excited? This is a beauty dish. This is what you asked for, right? Every single time I do one of these, people always say to me, Daniel, that's because that's my name, are you going to use a beauty dish? And I say, well, it's really the only piece of equipment I have here, so probably. All right, so here we go. I'm at F8. I'm at 200th of a second. I'm at... Nice. Did you just do that?
How did I just do that?
Well, with the
You were
capture one.
looking at me while you did it.
Sorcery?
Seth did that. All right, here we go. Hold on, what happened? Oh, I moved my focus spot with my nose. That's the problem with being left-eyed. All right, there she is, right? So, a couple things going on here, right? Number one, before we get into the light on her, the background's dark. Why is the background dark? Because the grid is making it so the light is not spreading. Also, it's very close to her relative to the background, right? So we're getting that. So we have a shadow pattern on her face, right? Wherever the light is not, there's going to be shadow. It's opposite, right? So if I want, and you probably see this a lot in beauty photography, if I don't want such shadows under her nose and stuff, I have to have her raise her chin, right? Because if her her face matches the angle of the light, then she'll have no shadow because it will be behind her, right? So you see this a lot. That's why, you know, models that do a lot of beauty photography have to make sure they don't have any nose hairs. There we go, right? That's probably too high, but that's okay. Well, we can see by doing this how long her neck is. Okay, so let's actually.
You took it too fast.
I did take it too fast, a little lower. Right there. Good, right? All right, perfect. Right, we can shape the shadow, right, if we want to do that. So you see that a lot, right? She's looking up, she's like, oh, my eyes are so bright, right? And then we've got that. The other way we could do it, if we don't want her to be looking up per se, is, now you notice how her cheekbones are coming in here, right? This comes into that whole thing. And what we can do is we can actually use a reflector, exactly. All right, and because this is a beauty shot, we're going to use, I spare no expenses here. This is a Brooklyn reflector. It is a silvered Brooklyn reflector, handmade, artisanal reflectors, made actually in Manhattan, but made right here in Manhattan. But we say they're from Brooklyn because Brooklyn is cooler now than Manhattan. Seth would say it's probably always been cooler. I am. I want to sell I have to sell the Brooklyn reflectors. You can buy them on my special Brooklyn reflector account, $300 a piece. Good, good, good. All right, here we go. Marissa's like, oh, right? And we're bouncing into a little bit of light, right? They get it a little bit.
A little bit, but not really.
A little bit. So it's not going to completely kick the light up into her face. I'm going to kick that light up into her face. The reason why is because the grid is, right? In order for a reflector to work, light has to do what? I told you can't get picked on when you're in the front. It has to hit it, right? If there's no light hitting the reflector, I'm sorry to say I've seen situations where people have done things like this. This is doing nothing because the light is not hitting it, right? The light must hit the reflector in order for it to work. So again, we can turn on our modeling light so you guys can see better. There it is. So we can see that we got to bring it in pretty tight to actually get anything. And we're barely getting anything, right? That's why I'm using the silver here. Partially because silver is going to be more specular. It's going to pop my highlights a bit. But also I want a little more juice. Boom. Okay. That's all we're going to get out of the silver, right? It's still nice, though. It's clean, right? It's fresh. Like a whistle. Little halo on the chin. And that's it. I literally just repeat everything Seth says, but it doesn't matter. Well, I want to make sure they know what you're saying. All right, if we want to be able to use the light in a more effective way with the bounce, then we need to do one of two things. We either need to turn the light more, right, so we can get more light on it, or we got to take the grid off. Let's try turning the light first, because I'm always about that. There we go. That seems a little better. Is that still hitting you? It is, right?
Yeah,
There
a
it is.
little bit.
That's hitting you. There we go. Okay.
Looks like it's sliding.
Oh, it's slide.
All right, we're sliding here. Tighten that up for me. No, it slides into position, always. You put it kind of where you want it, and then you let it slide down the rest of the way. That's how you do it. That's the professional way, I swear. I guess I should go to the gym more with Marissa. All right, so. I just like to see Seth get up. Seth Miranda, everybody. Woo! Okay, thanks. All right. He is a hero. All right, no reflector to start with. Oh, that ain't terrible, right? Now let's get the reflector in there. I lost it. Oh, there it is. It's only a tiny little studio. And I'm pretty sure we confirmed when Gavin was here that this space is actually smaller than Gavin's studio. I know. By a foot. Ha-ha, Gavin. Boom. There we go. Right? Now, we're illuminating that beautiful long neck. And there she is. Look how sharp that is. It's an icon.
I gotta do the P thing.
Oh, yeah, do the thing. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. All right, that's it, because it's important. If your images are at least sharp, then people will love you. All right, so now we have this light, right? It's actually a relatively hard source because it's smaller, right? Still bigger than her head. Not much, but bigger than her head, right? So it's still relatively soft, but we're bringing in the shadow, right? We're doing the same thing, really, right? We're giving this open light to her, but because it's closer and because the actual light is harder, we're getting shape, right? We're seeing the cheekbones come in, right? That's kind of what we're doing here with a smaller light source, a harder light source. So to just say that, yeah, I use a bigger light source for women and a smaller one for men, that's not really the case, right? It's more about how we control our shadow and what we want to do with it. So let's actually have you look straight forward. Yeah, and kind of do this. Yeah, exactly. I'm just doing that for fun. Okay. All right, there we go. She's looking at me. She's like, I'm Marissa, and I'm like a robot. Right? Aha, it's dark. Need a little more light.
More reflective.
I'm doing the character light demo. Sorry, Seth. I'll stop doing your demo now.
More cowbell.
There it is. Okay. I need his help. I need help. I need help. Yeah. Do you want to hold the reflector or take the picture? Okay. So you got to reflect it back in. Don't screw it up. There's like 1,000 people watching.
No,
Yeah.
we've already screwed up plenty.
All right. Oh, you did a better job than me, that's for sure. Hold that there for a second. Let me give it a little more juice. I don't want to do too much of it under light because, there we go, right? What's that? Back the light? Pull the light towards me. Perfect. You're doing a great job.
It's my lighting assistant.
Ah, perfect. I always choose the pros. Oh, there we go. Right? Nice. Well done. Thanks, Seth. Okay, excellent job. All right, now we've got this like light that's a little more powerful on her, right? She's all like, I'm Marissa, right? She says that a lot, actually. She just shows up, she's like, I'm Marissa. I don't know why you have such a deep voice, though, when you do it. I'm not sure. Now, let's see what happens when we bring Justin in here. Oh.
Looks like
Yes.
blood sport.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my feeling.
How much felt like the floral wasn't going
Subject in the background.
How much difference to what?
What's your choice in keeping a distance with the subject in the background?
Oh, okay, so how do we determine how close we want to put the subject to the background? Well, keeping in mind that wherever the light is thrown, it's going to throw a shadow. I just look at the angle, right? So I mean, here he could be really close to the background, if I wanted him to. But I knew that when I first started, I had it further up, so I wanted the shadow to kind of come down here so we wouldn't see it. So that's how I chose. I mean, the distance really depends on where you want the shadow to be. There's no fixed thing, but I would say 5 feet is usually a good option to start with. See, I said there was no number, and I gave you one anyways, because that's what we do. That's the place you start, right? Don't write down, Daniel said 5 feet, and then 5 feet sucks, and you're like, oh, Daniel said 5 feet. I often put people right up against the background. I like shadows. Shadows like me.
Showing off my sick farmer's tan.
Yes. Yeah, you could do like, okay. No, do this thing where you're like, yeah, like it must, I don't know, like how to do this. Okay.
I'm a man.
Now,
Line.
we're gonna get a lot of shadow from his gigantic hair.
I got a haircut like a week.
I know,
and
but
a
it's
half
awesome.
ago.
I love Justin's hair.
I let it go for a while.
It's really nice. All right, so here he is. He's like, yeah, boom, right? So let's see what that looks like, because I'm kind of curious. Oh yeah, that's not bad, right? So already, even without the reflector or anything, it kind of actually looks decent on him, right? Because he's a dude, right? I kind of like that, actually. I'm going to go a little bit filled, maybe a white reflector. Well, I'm going to take the media so you can't use it. All right, so I'm going to give the light a little more juice. Let's try that again.
Trying to be tough here.
Yeah, be tough, like the Karate Kid. Actually, it wasn't very tough, right? Oh, there we go. All right, right? This would be terrible, right, with Marissa generally, right? We already started with the light coming down on her. It wasn't very good, right? Because right, even though she was smiling, but basically you get this, oh, what do you do? Control is how you do that?
Don't do shift, that's multiples.
Okay, shift. Don't do shift. Control. Command. There he is.
Attaboy, you only took a class in
Yep.
this.
Right, we can see that just right there, right? This kind of meaner light actually looks good on him, right? It works, it adds character. Now, if this was his picture for LinkedIn, probably not, right? But as a character I said character portrait, I blew it. Seth is doing an entire demo on character portraits on Tuesdays. So if you want to see this again,
You mean properly?
but done properly, yeah. Then this is it. All right, so if you want to see it done right, then Seth will do it for you. All right, so I'm going to bring out the big Brooklyn. Actually, I'll keep it the small one. We'll keep the small Brooklyn. Now, the reason why these are $300 is not just because it takes so much time for Seth to make them, but also they're multi-purpose on the back. It's white.
Try this guy right here.
All right. I don't know what happened to my assistant, so. Okay. Right? Not so much, right? We like the shadow, right? We like the kind of burnt nose. We like that. Well, you have a pretty eye there. Sometimes that dropper takes forever. What's that? Yes.
How come we use the opposite side? The one that doesn't reflect?
Hold on, what? Hold on. Did you just say the one that doesn't reflect? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. I'm just saying. I mean, okay, no, why did I use the white? I'm just giving you a hard time. So the reason why I switched to the white side was partially to try to sell it to you guys to show there's two sides to it. No. The reason why is because I didn't want it to be too much, right? Because I know I like this shadow. I want to fill it in a little bit. Even this was too much. Look at how filled in it is. So that's the reason why. But what I'm going to do actually is, this is crazy. Again?
Yeah.
This is like advanced stuff right here, so get ready for it. Instead of having him hold it, I'm going to have it hold it low, right? By making the light further away. Actually, back up a tiny bit. A little more. Good. Right? Let go for a second. Right? Filled, less filled. Right? There you go. Controlling the power. With a Brooklyn reflector, no other kind of reflector can you do this with.
Do a whole demo on it.
I'm literally doing the entire demo. Sorry. All right. There we go. Now we're filled in a bit, right? Ooh.
Look at that chin.
Oh, because I'm not the hand, that's why.
Are you busy Tuesday? You want to watch?
Right? So, right? We've got extreme, right? And then we've got too much, right? Like this is too kind of, this is actually almost like a glamoury kind of light, which doesn't work, right? It's kind of like, right? And then we've got this, which is like not bad, right? If we really wanted to see him, if he was like, I can't really see myself that much, then we could get that, right? So it kind of depends on what you want, right? We can vary that by adding the reflector in and out. What we never want to do is use the silver side, because you asked me about that. See, I was going to do it, but now that you asked, no, we'll do it. All right, so watch the silver. The silver's going to be a lot. For the silver, I'm going to need my assistant. Don't screw it up. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, be like, chin down. All right, there we go. That's it. Okay. I'm going vertical. I know it's crazy. Here we go. I'm doing it. You know we're going to change everything, so we're doing it. Okay. She's on board. We got it. Too bad this doesn't have eyeball focus. Oh, no, it does. All right. Huh? I saved that till the end, right? See, that's, you got to finish big. You guys need to teach you that. It's showmanship. All right, so what did we do there? We switched to the silver, which would have been way too much in the original pose, but I had him bend further over, making that basically the key light, right? Now he's being lit from underneath. It's kind of like a little kind of like intense, right? And now we have two options, basically, right? We've got the, oh, that's too many. Why do I keep hitting the wrong button?
They're asking if you had a bald model with a hard light hit him too much shine on the head.
If I had a bald model, would the light hit him too hard on the head? Probably. I don't see anybody. Would you mind, so we can see? Yeah. All right. All right, let's see. Step in. Yes. Come this way slightly. Good. Oh, look at you. You're like, all right, you ready for this? He's ready. All right, we'll hold off on that for a second. Wow. All right, we go. All right, let's just go for it. Okay, it's a bit bright on his head. Why is his head bright? Because it's closer to the light, right? That's always going to be the case. The hair helps disperse it, right? So it's, yeah, it's going to reflect. I kind of like it, actually. But we could feather it off. There's lots of things we could do. Come back where you were. Step back. Good. Nice. You're an excellent model. He's done this before, actually. We put ringers in the crowd to help, right? Okay, a little better, right? So what happened? That's good. I got it. That's good from the front. That's good. That's good. Okay, so what happened there? How did I do that? Magic. Reflector?
No.
White. White. Good idea. All right, here we go. Did you move back in? Did you change back? He did. You moved back in. Why'd you move back in? Oh. Forget that happened. Step back. All right. We got you. Good. All right. Good. Here we go. See what that looks. I think it might be too clean, though. It's not bad. I kind of like it without the reflector. All right, see? So what have we learned? You should buy Brooklyn reflectors, but don't use them on this guy. All right. Good job. Yeah, what's that?
Blue shirts reflect.
And blue shirt is also reflecting because, you know, why not? We could have made a blue background, but we won't do that. No. All right, other questions? That's right, bring it on.
Does the mixing of and the white back affect color?
Okay, so does is the color affected because this is silver, which generally when you're using something that's silver, it does actually cool it off a little bit versus the white. Probably. This is the only light source. So this is cooling it off, it's bouncing off that. As long as this doesn't warm it up, then it should stay the same. Right? But if it was two light sources, it could make a difference. Didn't we just do that?
To avoid like maybe the reflection getting on the eye.
I mean, oh, from here? Yeah, well, I wouldn't, yeah. This doesn't look good.
But
What-
I'm asking, if you like that look, would you?
What I would do if I like this look is I probably wouldn't use a reflector. The reason why I wouldn't use a reflector is because if I use a reflector, I need to put it in a very specific spot in order to get the amount of light back on him. I probably would use your fill light now. I would use an active fill light, so another light source. Then I could position it wherever I wanted to get the fill. So I'd use a softbox below or something. That's a good question though, right? So sometimes it's worthwhile. That was a good question. Lots of good questions today, yes.
That's the center of the beauty dish of
Oh no, I fixed it. Okay. No, I broke it a little bit. There we go. Okay, so what makes it a beauty dish?
Go ahead, Kristen.
Deflector, right? What does this do exactly? Nobody knows. No, so what it does is, if you put a light in here and I put it really close to somebody, then the light would reflect, making the center of it a hot spot, right? Because when light is really close to something, you get that hot spot. The beauty dish deflects the light, so it does not do that. Thus, a beauty dish is supposed to be used close. That's the whole point of a beauty dish, right? If you put your beauty dish really far away, I mean, you might as well have just a regular reflector that's 22 inches. That's what makes it a beauty dish. It's a little bit shallow, has a dent in it, deflector. There are some beauty dishes, well, like Mola or, Speedotron, that have different deflectors. I don't know if Profoto does or not. Like opal glass and like grids and stuff like that. So you have a hot spot, but it's a controlled hot spot. That's kind of like a more advanced type of beauty dish. Yeah.
Dent is deliberate?
No, the dent is not deliberate at all. Most beauty dishes do not have dents in. This is just to show you how old my beauty
Well,
dish
it's
is.
deliberate for a different reason.
Yeah, he smacked me in the head with it. Yes. Somebody had a question back there.
Adjustments do you make in terms of when you have darker complexions and the lights that reflect?
What do I do differently, or what adjustments do I make for darker complexions? Well, the thing about that is not really much. I mean, as long as you're metering the way I'm metering it, right, with an incident meter, the amount of light falling on the subject should replicate that subject at the tone that they are, right, whether they be tremendously light or dark or anywhere in between, right? Said, if somebody has a dark complexion and you start throwing a lot of shadows, you may start to lose detail because of the camera can't handle it, the contrast. So, I mean, you might fill in a little bit more. I usually don't. I mean, I like people to look the way they look. I know that kind of, I'm getting into philosophy here a little bit, but there's this thing where some people, change people to be darker or lighter or smooth skin. I like people to look the way they look. So if you are a very dark-skinned person, you should look dark, as long as it can be reproduced, right? If I'm shooting for a magazine and I know that they only have so much level of reproduction, I may have to shoot with more or less contrasty light so I don't make you all like blocky and stuff. But online, prints that you're gonna put on a wall these days with like good inkjet printers, you can get in those color details. So not much really. I wouldn't change it much at all. Yeah.
could I use the beauty dish with that
Here you
like
go.
U-shape reflector?
Oh, that thing?
Yeah.
God. All right, so. No, I'm just kidding.
That was the last question.
That was the last question. No, so there's a thing called the eyeliner, right? That's what it's called. It's like a.
There's also a trifold too.
And so it's basically a reflector. I think you're supposed to use it with a certain thing, an umbrella, I guess.
You're supposed to use it with something that spills wide.
Yeah, it spills wide. So you probably wouldn't use a beauty dish with it because a beauty dish is not going to spread the light out. Can you use a beauty dish with it? I mean, you probably can, but the whole point of the eye thing, which is very specific. Do you work for Westcott? Are you trying to like sell this?
I just bought that.
Oh, you just bought it. Well, again, if it's this wide, right, and you want to catch the whole thing evenly with light, a beauty dish is not the right tool for that, right? You want something that's going to spread the light out wider. So maybe something like a diffusive umbrella or a larger softbox would probably work better. So that'd be my opinion on that. But if all sure, yes.
That you brought up Westcott. What about the Westcott, like the Octobox that has like a inside reflector?
Oh, yep.
Between that and a beauty dish. Because it does have the reflector
So,
inside too.
right, so they make, other companies make various types of modifiers that have a deflector in the center. That kind of does the same thing. How that's different than a beauty dish, I mean, how much bigger is it? How much deeper is it? How much, I mean, it's different, right? Because it's different. It is different. Size.
If it's deeper, it'll cause different shadow effects.
Exactly. You spread, right? The deeper your light source, so you get like a deep box, right? Like a parabolic. Oh my God, I shouldn't say it. First of all umbrellas are parabolic. All right, so I'm just kind of, I said it, it's done. But let's say you get one of these things they call a parabolic reflector, like these deep things. What that does is it actually gives you a different throw of light. That's what that does. So why they put a deflector in the middle? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming it's to make it more even, right? It depends on the light source. Okay. Wow, a lot of questions today. You guys are very, you ask a lot of questions. We don't usually get so many questions. Any other questions? No. All right, let's take another picture then. It's past 6 o'clock, so I can do something crazy. What are we going to do?
I don't even know what batteries I got for you, so.
Oh, well, that's all right. Before we run out of battery, let's do something. All right, so what happens if, because nobody asked me this, you're photographing a man and a woman in the same shot. Well, it should be clear to anybody that the most important thing in that situation is the woman look good. Exactly. Doesn't matter, right? The woman's the most important. We're going to make her look good. He's just a prop. Sorry, Justin.
That's right. I'm just like, a set piece.
Set piece, as we say.
That's right.
All right.
I know my place.
So the question is, how do I want to do this? What do you think,
I
Marissa?
can put my shirt back on.
Yeah, let's put your shirt back on.
No, I'm not
And let's be like, let's do something a little bit more like,
Like a cheesy 80s, like.
yeah.
A cheesy 80s.
No, we did cheesy 80s last time.
We did.
Yeah, you missed it.
We missed out on that one.
Yeah, sorry. All right, we'll do it again because cheesy 80s is good. All right, so,
Why not?
I mean, I don't remember that because I was just a baby.
Oh, I've done cheesy 80s with Erica too.
Yes, yeah, we do it a lot actually.
It's stale, but good.
All right, here we go.
Crunchy, but gets the job done.
So, if we, now comes the question of distance, right? Whoever had that question, I can't remember now. Was that you? Somebody had the question about distance to the background? If we put them too close to the background, we're going to get shadows, right? So we have to consider whether or not we want a shadow or not. I think we do, because I'm not going to do cheesy 80s even though I said I was going to. I'm going to do something more contrasty because I feel like it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So you're going to be like here, and you're going to be like, right? Like a bad mofo, right? And you're going to be like over here.
like I'm just cool.
Yeah, like you're just cool. Exactly.
Like,
My floral print shirt.
In the floral print shirt.
He texted me the other day. He goes, "Be manly."
That's
Okay.
I
Brought a
I
muscle
brought a muscle shirt and floral, so it's like we got the best of both worlds.
What I've learned in many years of doing this is the best way to get good out vague as possible. Yep.
yeah, like I'm gonna bring your outfit.
Yeah, like I'll bring your outfit. Right, because if I didn't tell Marissa I was going to bring her outfit, then she would have tried to bring something else. But see, you look great.
No.
All right, so I'm being way too complimentary today. I'll pay for it later. I don't know why I'm being so nice lately. I'm rusty. All right, here we go. We're going to do something interesting because I feel like it. You know what I should use? Magnum. Yeah, let's do it. No more soft light. We're over it.
Oh, hey, you're in luck.
It didn't fall in the back this time.
Nice. Means it's meant to be.
Also has a dent in it. This is the Magnum reflector. It's amazing. All right. This is my favorite reflector. We're going to use this light for the. Yeah, okay. So the Magnum reflector, besides having a cool name, is kind of like a amplifier of light, and it creates a very, very punchy look. And we're going to use it on Justin.
Okay.
It's probably going to be like F1063 because it's so close to you. So I will turn it down. All right, this is really going to be bright probably.
Love it.
So.
What unit of measure is that? Because most of us shoot like in fractions, 1/128.
Okay, so. Oh no, we might lose the stream. All right, guys, if we lose you online, you'll just have to imagine it was a great shot. So, I had a question about percentages, 1/128, whatever. So when you're looking at flashes, right? So let's say you have a basic speed light or some other flash. It's like full power, half power, 1/4 power, 1/8 power, 1/16 power, right? Each one of those is one stop of light, right? In a light like a Profoto where there's numbers on the back, each number is a stop. So from 9 to 8 is one stop. So if 10 is full power, 9 is 1/2, 8 is 1/4, et cetera, et cetera. Huh, I explained that actually pretty good. I was a little worried there. I was a little worried about that one. All right, so we're going to do this, right? We're going to take the Magnum. Okay. I put it on the shortest stand I have because it was in that spot. All right. What I'm going to do, actually, you're going to switch spots. Back. Yep. All right, so I'm going to, I think, have Marissa throw a shadow on Justin.
You're going to be choppy.
I'm choppy, so I'll talk slow. Oh. Well, that's not much light. Good. Oh, modeling light. That's why. I told you guys at the beginning. Okay, 16. All right, so. All right, F8, right? So I'm at F8 now on the back of Marissa's head. Whenever we're building up a shot like this, because I get paid by the hour, we're going to do it one light at a time. Okay, here we go. Perfect.
Perfect for that.
All right. Now, sometimes you have to throw a little bit of your own style into things here. I've opted to go a little more minimalistic with this. Yeah, that looks good. Now, let me just see. I need my assistant again. Let's put you here. Bounce that light back in on him. Right? Is that doing it? You think that's going to do it? Get closer together, guys. Yeah. Perfect. You can get in closer too. Good.
No, I was going to ask the same thing.
That's what I was like,
Are we, like,
what are we
serious?
going for here?
No. You're powerful.
Oh.
Okay. There he is a little bit, right? A little shadowy. So, we've tried to use a reflector, and guess what? Wasn't enough light, right? Sometimes it's good to try a reflector first, because if it works, then you say putting up a light. Since that's not enough, we're going to have to add a light, which I knew we'd have to. Okay, you're good with the reflector. Thank you. You can go back to your position. All right.
Oh no,
We'll be the
my
same
fragile masculinity. Don't be taller.
No, but this will be the same height.
Don't fall into that. You can be taller.
Okay. Well, I'm wearing this. I mean, it's actually.
Yes, well, that's true.
You're right, though. You know what?
The audio is fine, the video is choppy.
Okay, the audio is fine, but the video is chopped, so I will keep talking. That way you'll see, like,
We'll just over-explain it.
okay, I'm going to over-explain like I always do. All right, so I'm taking the secondary light in here to light Justin. This is going to do two things. This is going to light Justin, and it's also going to light Marissa a bit.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be a fill on her and a key on him. Wow, that modeling light is bright. All right. Let's put the beauty dish on there. Because when you use a beauty dish, things get beautiful. There we go. This is good. You look good, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
It's the shirt choice. I knew it was.
The shirt was. All right, so as a dude, right, Justin knows never throw a shadow on the lady. That's right.
Throw the shadow on me.
That's right. So you're going to be this. You're going to be that. I don't know. It's almost too good, I think. All right, let's try it. What do you think? No? We have a choppy feed. Nobody here cares, but because they're like, I don't care about people online. I came all the way to New York for this. And all I got was a T-shirt. Oh, hold on. And you didn't get a T-shirt. All right, so I'm going to put it on channel A, or yeah, channel, no, group A. Okay, they're both firing now, right? Nope. All right. Yeah, they're firing. Okay, good. Let's try that. Do I want the woman closer to the beauty dish? Absolutely not. Don't be so sexist. Let's kill the modeling lights. It's about to get dark in here, so I guess. Where did they both go? Master. Okay, this is a B. Good. All right, for some reason the meter, I think it needs a new battery or something because it is not picking up a signal at all, but we're just gonna go for it. Because sometimes, yeah, it's just giving me 0. Oh.
Try it now.
You're saying I pressed the wrong button. This would not be the first time. Oh, look, Seth fixed it, as usual. Bastard. All right. This is why it's important to have a Seth whenever you're... Okay. I think we're good. No pressure.
There's no way this.
All right. We got a beauty dish. We got a Magnum reflector. We got a Nikon. It's going to be very sharp. Ooh. All right, so.
Cover to a TV show right there.
Thanks, Justin. I'm just going to walk away now. No, okay. So, the reason I didn't put the beauty to her is this, right? I'm still going to tweak this. So let me just explain, because there was a question online. So, closer you put a light to something, the softer it becomes, right? But also, if we think about the inverse square law, right? The inverse square law tells us that math, right? But what that basically means is if I put the light really close to her, let's say, which would mean putting it even closer to Justin, the fall off would be so extreme. I want to keep them more or less in the same zone of exposure, otherwise I would overexpose him, right? So that's why I need to back it up. Also, you know, I know, because I've been working with Marissa all day, this is our first time ever working together, but today, right, that she could handle that bit of a hard light, so we're working with it, right? It has that style, right? I said I was going to create something more stylish, a little more punchy, and that's what we're doing. All right, so let's get a slightly better shot. I think that's, although that's pretty damn good. Can you do better than that?
Yeah. Oh,
All right, let's do it. Now, it's important if you have a lot of people around, you want to make it seem like a bigger production, you have to use as much equipment as possible, so let's use a reflector. You've been trained this whole time. So I'm not going to tell you where to put the reflector, because I think you got it down. So you just do what you think is right. I won't make fun of it at all. All right, here we go. Are you guys in the same spot?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hold on. Let's do this. Nope, that didn't work. All right, let's kill the lights for effect. Can we get music?
Seriously, just say that?
Yep. I did. I totally just said that. right, here we go. Powerful. Oh, what's this? Okay. All right, here we go. Oh, why did my focus spot move? My nose is so big. All right, hold on. Here we go. All right, good. Powerful. Good. Excellent. All right. All right, hold on. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Your faces were pretty good, but your positioning is bad. Marissa, you're throwing too much shadow on Justin.
Also focused on blue steel.
All
We're
right.
too focused on blue steel.
Yes. Okay, let's see it one more time. That's good. Here we go. All right. There it is. What did you do?
Too hot. Too good looking.
It's too blue steel.
I think it's this reflector scoring. There we go.
Why am I so like big?
Okay. Go this way. Good.
Wait, what's his name?
Perfect. All right, hold on. Yep. This is going to be my next Instagram picture, so it better be good. There we go. All right, we got the shadow. We added more contrast. So we can move them around, right? We're creating different patterns. I kind of like the more shadowy. That reflector work is amazing. Good job. What I think I want to do, those, what's that?
They're asking if she can take off her shoes. I think they're talking about the height class.
All right, so some sexist people online feel a little upset that Marissa is taller than Justin. So let's have her take her shoes off so we can bow to the patriarchy.
Then you get the tightest from the floor.
Descends to the
What?
page.
How dare you be taller than
I'll
me?
also squat.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
There we go. That's better. Perfect. We got it. All right, here we go. Much better. There we go. We're Hollywood standard. All right. All right, let's try one more.
An apple box.
Okay, here we go. You're good.
Right here, maybe?
Yep. That light's good. Okay, you're perfect.
Get to my height.
Project. There we go. Good. There we go. There we go. You guys are happy with that, I can tell. Right? So we've created, what we've done here, right? We're using more or less a hard light, right? But what I'm doing is, if you remember when we very first started, or even as we're building up, what I said was, as long as we fill in, right, on the female subject, we have a more even light, it works, even with a hard light source. So we're basically able to use, what I said wasn't really the right light at the beginning on her, but it works. Because if I lit her, like, perfectly beautiful, soft, glowing light, and I kept him hard, right, for this kind of mood, it wouldn't look right, right? It would look bad. So we want them to match. Now, here it comes down to this, right? Justin is a bit darker in skin tone than her, so he is darker, even though he's closer to the light, right? I mean, I like that. If you want them to be more even, what we would need to do is just get more light on them, basically. I could just do that. We'll go like that.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. Right, and then we can bring him up, right? So it's just a matter of that, right? It kind of depends on how you want to do it. And now we've got them a little more even. It's just a matter of spreading the light.
Oh, that was Patty Mates that said the shoe thing.
Patty. Okay. See? Okay, guys. Questions, thoughts, concerns. Does it make sense? Right?
No.
So basically, in the end here, I violated everything I just said. I used hard light. I put the backlight on her, right? Because it worked, and that's the point, right? We walk into these things saying, I've got a certain kind of concept, like if I'm going to photograph this kind of... Mulder and Scully. Yeah, I'm going to have, this certain kind of feel that I want to bring into it because I don't know, right? I'm starting, right? But then once you're creating a shot, the light that you're creating should be correct for the shot. No matter who the subject is, that's what you want to use, right? Because if it works, right, if it works with the story, then the light's going to work, even if it's not the correct light for whether they be the same height or not. That's right, I'm sorry. Okay, questions before we break? Yes?
Coming back to one of your first setups with Marissa, that was at the softbox at the 45,
Yeah?
and you used the Brooklyn on the side.
Yeah?
And that gave the most cleanest kind of corporate shot.
Right? So the softbox with the reflector on the side from Marissa at the beginning, yep.
Do you find that that's kind of a go-to scenario in that type of aesthetic if it's just like
Yeah.
quarters?
Yeah, it's a pretty safe setup. So if you're not sure what you're walking into, like having a kind of either a softer light or a more filled in light is good, because even with, so just what we're talking about here is this. Seth's hand. We're talking about this, right? Because even for Justin, it was fine, right? It wasn't bad, right? I mean, it's, he's 15, right? It's okay, right? You see these like posters up in the coffee shop for headshots. That's the shot, right? Yeah, but if you can have a little more flavor to it, I think people appreciate that. So using a reflector is sometimes a good way, or another light where you can actually start to shape it depending on the person. If I'm walking into a situation I have to photograph a lot of people, though, I go back to what I said before. I try to favor the women, so I probably would put the light in the middle, even for that situation, because that's generally how I would light a woman. Okay, that makes sense? But yeah, it's a good place to start.
So how would you move the reflector if you had the light in the front? Would you not use the Brooklyn? You feel that you have this system all the time?
You bring this young lady and she'll take care of it. She knows how to do it. Yeah, you put it underneath. Clamshell, as they say. Yeah, clamshell, that's what they call it. It's the one thing I know what the name of it is. The clamshell is when you're like a clam shelling.
We call it voice-activated light stand.
Voice-activated light stand, yes. I actually have a t-shirt that says that. Okay, so other questions? No, you had them all in the middle, which was kind of fun. All right, so what am I supposed to, okay, so stuff that I'm supposed to shout out. Oh, there's a pro photo thing. Should I shout that out? There's like a sale on the B2. I guess I'm not sure if they're just continuing. I'm not supposed to say. But it's like $1,000 for 2 lights, which is pretty nice. I get nothing from you buying that, but is it pretty cool? I'm back next week. Yay! Oh, jeez.
That was the best ever. Oh, it's so
Never. This background,
Don't start.
once a year, Adorama, you think Adorama's a big company, right? Once a year, they buy me 1 roll of paper. And it is gray. Once they bought blue, it wasn't a good idea. So it's gray, right? So we're going to do a million looks on a gray background, or whatever I'm calling it. We're going to make the big gray background all kinds of different colors. Don't let anybody tell you have to do that in Photoshop. You can make the background different colors. You can make it darker. You can make it lighter. You can make different colors. We're going to do all kinds of stuff with the gray background next week. So if you guys want to tune in for that or come in, it's even better. Seth's here on Tuesday, though, first, doing character lighting. If you guys are local or want to jump on a plane, we're doing workshops at our studio for people who came after that. Myself and Seth. He basically yells at me the whole time, which is pretty fun. That's on Friday or Saturday. Those are not free. So, if you go to 1200sessions.com, you can check that out if you want. So I can buy more coffee. What else am I supposed to do? Oh, I just remembered. People ask me all the time about Capture One. They gave me some codes. So Capture One has stopped giving a discount code as general. So I have 10 codes. If somebody was serious about getting Capture One, because once I give it to you, I can't use it for anybody else, DM me, I guess on Instagram is probably the easiest way, Daniel Norton, and I will send you a code. And you can get Capture One 10% off, if you're interested. Oh, and we're also doing a critique. When is it? A couple weeks. Wait for it. We get asked for this a lot, actually.
Yeah, actually we do. I think it is on the 20.
It's a Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
Yeah, which is kind of nice. Prince Spaghetti Day.
On the 28th. Yeah,
Did we
it's
ever
on
guess that?
28th.
On the 28th of August, 2019, we're doing a critique. You need to be local, though. I'm sorry for online people. So you go to the event, so adorama.com/events, find that event. It'll tell you how to submit. Don't DM them to me on Instagram, as some people have done.
Yeah.
You know who you are. I'm not in charge of that. Send it to the email. Seth handles all that. And we'll do a critique. It's really cool. We talk. It's local. It's not streamed. So it's like a chat. But if you send us pictures and you don't show up, we're not going to critique them. You need to be here so we can talk about it. Okay? So do that. That's super fun. What else? Anything else going on? You guys got something? No? Okay. Wow, that's a lot of stuff we shouted out.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so I'll be here next week. Seth's here on Tuesday, though. Make sure you guys come for that. It's really, really a good one.
Thanks.
Are you going to stream it?
Facebook.
He'll stream on Facebook. So Adorama's Facebook if you can't come. 5 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's character portraits. Yeah, basically what I just did. But better.
You always
Bye.
do. All right, goodbye. Good night.